Hello and welcome to the News Desk at 10 on NTA News 24. I'm Chimobi Walter Naji. Let's take the headlines. President Muhammadu Buhari honors 110 outstanding ex-corps members to get automatic employment into federal civil service. Senate wades into controversy over cryptocurrency to invite CBN governor for deliberations. Thanks for being there. Now, 110 ex-corps members who distinguished themselves in the course of the 2018 and 2019 National Youth Service are to be given automatic employment into the Federal Civil Service. President Muhammadu Buhari, who gave the directive, further stated that any one of them pursuing postgraduate studies will also be given a federal scholarship up to doctoral level in any Nigerian university. Speaking at this year's Presidential NYSC Honors Award, the President reaffirmed his administration's abiding faith in the youth of Nigeria. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has a report.
The 110 recipients of the Presidential Honors Award for the 2018 and 2019 National Service years were judged to have excelled in the cardinal programs of the NYSC scheme, especially in the areas of primary assignment and community development service.
I wish to express our gratitude to Mr. President for being a champion for the Nigerian youth and for being a committed supporter of the NYSC scheme.
I wish to assure you that the NYSC management and core members will continue to justify government's huge investment through greater commitment to the service of our fatherland.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who congratulated the awardees for not only standing out amongst their peers, but also proving themselves worthy ambassadors of their families and indeed the NYSC.
I am very proud of you and confident that the award shall inspire you to greater service to the nation and humanity. It is my plea to you to be wary of those who would like to exploit your youth, intelligence, and positive energy by channeling you into wrong paths.
Saluting the founding fathers of the scheme, notably General Yakubu Gowon, President Buhari is delighted that the NYSC, in its 48 years of existence, remain a crucible of national unity and integration. Through the scheme, he said, walls of ethnic stereotypes are pulled downhill and bridges of unity built in the nation's quest for one common vision and destiny despite the people's plurality.
It is my fervent hope that all hands will remain on deck as we will continue to work together with a single mind for the benefit of the nation. May God continue to bless our youth, illuminating their minds and paths as they take steady and progressive steps towards the attainment of their set goals in life.
The President described as gratifying that core members remained at the forefront in the battle against COVID-19 through the production of face masks, hand sanitizers, liquid soap, and several fabricated machines, thereby contributing towards curtailing the spread of the global pandemic.
The enormous contributions members of the Service Corps are making to the improvement of our education, health, and social sectors, as well as rural development, remain a shining testament to the scheme. This has portrayed successive generations of core members as veritable agents of development.
Apart from the incentives of automatic employment and postgraduate scholarship, the Presidential Honors Award recipients also carted home cash rewards. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And the House of Representatives is considering a review of the purchase of arms and ammunition by the military, paramilitary and other law enforcement agencies in Nigeria. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that an ad hoc committee has been inaugurated for that purpose.
In 2018, global procurement of arms and ammunition stood at 12% of gross domestic product (GDP). The percentage for Africa was 13.5%, while Nigeria's percentage of procurement was 14.25%. According to the International Trade Center ranking, Nigeria places fourth in Africa and 52nd in the world, as it spent more than $47 million on arms importation in 2019. The quality and quantity of arms and ammunition purchased in the last 10 years is what this committee seeks to find out.
It is through evidence gathered the committee will be able to deliver on this all-important national assignment that will guarantee national security, economic growth, and national development.
Information gathered at engagements with stakeholders, key among which are the Nigerian Army, Air Force, Navy, Police, Immigration Service, and the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, will assist the committee in its assignment targeted at reviewing the use and control of arms, ammunition, and related military hardware. Meanwhile, the Senate and House Joint Committee on Police Affairs has endorsed the 11 billion naira capital component of the Nigeria Police Trust Fund budget for 2020, following President Buhari's assent to the trust fund bill.
So it is after this budget we will now assess what they have done so far with this 11 billion naira that we approve for them as capital.
From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Now, the Senate is to invite the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, over the Apex Bank's ban on cryptocurrency transactions by Nigerian financial institutions. The Senate, through a motion by Senator Istofanus Gyang, mandated its Joint Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions, ICT, and Cybercrimes and Capital Markets to meet with the CBN Governor to brief it on the opportunities and dangers cryptocurrency poses to Nigeria's economy and security. The Central Bank of Nigeria had anchored its decision on the need to safeguard the Nigerian economy from what it described as the adverse effect of cryptocurrency regime. Now, the Chairman, Senate Committee on Public Accounts, Matthew Ogoide, says a more comprehensive and transparent mechanism is key to prudent management of public funds. This was the position of the committee during screening of the new Auditor General of the Federation, Adolphus Ahuhu. National Assembly correspondent Mobolaji Moribirin has reports.
Adolphus Agugu is an accountant with vast experience in financial auditing, having been newly appointed Auditor General of the Federation by President Muhammadu Buhari. Here he appears before the Senate Committee on Public Accounts for screening. The lawmakers are pointing to critical areas of need and other lapses in the financial sector, and how the new Auditor General will address them when confirmed.
And that is why we are trying to strengthen you. You will have to be strong to say you have to discharge your duty.
With the office of the Auditor General of the Federation as key to the nation's financial perpetuaries, the Auditor General nominee is positive of fresh ideas.
Experience gathered over the years will be put to full use if my nomination is confirmed by this distinguished Senate Public Accounts Committee.
Report by the committee would be submitted to the Senate at plenary for further legislative action. From the National Assembly, Mobolaji Moribirin, NTA News.
The federal government says it will not allow the kind of violence that was perpetrated across the country under the guise of the NSAS protests last October to repeat itself. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed stated this at a media briefing here in Abuja. Anthony Forson reports.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed said the NSAS campaign last October started as a peaceful protest against police brutality, and as a government that believes in the constitutionally guaranteed right of citizens to engage in peaceful protests, the federal government did nothing to hinder the protests for as long as they remained peaceful. Aside from that, the federal government equally moved swiftly to concede to the demands of the campaigners.
Unfortunately, despite the acceptance of the demands, the protesters misread the federal government's respect for the rule of law and defiantly continued to demonstrate and occupy a public facility even after a curfew was declared by the Lagos State government.
To this end, Lai Mohammed said some NSAS proponents have again issued a notice of their planned return to Lekki Toll Gate in Lagos this Saturday to occupy the toll gate, as flyers have been circulating online.
While peaceful protests are the constitutional rights of Nigerians, violent protests are not. At this time, the chances that any peaceful protest will be hijacked are very high.
It is in the light of this that the Information and Culture Minister restated the federal government's determination not to allow a repeat of the wanton destructions in Lagos and other parts of the country, which still remains fresh in the minds of all Nigerians. And to those who are hiding under the cover of human rights and justice for another round of destruction should have a rethink.
Like we have said many times, anyone who has any information on the alleged shooting or purported massacre at the Lekki Toll Gate, including the names and addresses of those who are purportedly killed, should head for the panel to give it such information. This is how to enhance the search for justice, not by rabble-rousing or engaging in media shows.
Against this backdrop, the federal government, however, warns that any attempt by the NSAS planners to reoccupy Lekki Toll Gate will be resisted, and also warned their collaborators abroad, whom he said are fanning the embers of violence and inciting Nigerians back home, to steer clear, as no government anywhere around the world will allow a repeat of the killings and maiming caused by the hijackers of the last October NSAS protests. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
All right, you're still watching the news at 10 on NTA News 24. More news after this break. Stay with us. And still ahead, reactions trail the approval of 20 private universities by FEC. Details of this and more when we return. Many thanks for being with us on the news. Now, the Cabinet Committee for the Review of the Draft National Transport Policy met this Thursday at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Vice President Jemi Oshibajo presided over the inaugural meeting. State House correspondent Jide Odifade reports.
The terms of reference of the committee include the administration of which ministry or agency has the statutory authority to administer tolls on Nigerian roads and to determine the appropriate roles of the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning and the Ministry of Works and Housing vis-a-vis the Ministry of Transportation in respect of the road fund proposed by the policy. Committee members at the meeting include Transport Minister Rotimi Amechi, Works and Housing Minister Babatunde Fashola, and Budget and National Planning Minister of State Clem Agba, who represented the Finance Minister. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Now, the federal government has continuously thrown its weight to ensure that poorly maintained roads in Nigeria, often cited as causes for the country's high rate of road fatalities, are given adequate attention. To walk the talk, the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, Southeast Zone 2, says it will not rest on its oars to ensure that all critical failed portions of the road within the zone are efficiently and effectively monitored to keep it in good and safe conditions. Ode Aleon reports.
From the length and breadth of Cross River State and environs, federal roads have been rehabilitated by the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA. Some of the roads inspected include Calabar Akankpa Ugeb Abumege, which connects to Ebonyi State, Ikom Wula Obudu Road, and Ikom Ogoja Road, which stretched for over 42 kilometers.
It will also help to expand the economy of this very community.
What they are doing good things that will help us.
I believe with this, God have answered our prayer.
We are very happy because it has been hectic for us, especially during the rainy season.
We have covered 42 kilometers from the Calabar Senatorial District to Northern Senatorial District of Cross River State. The contractors has performed very well.
As work is ongoing in some communities in Cross River State, some residents of benefiting communities promise to reciprocate the gesture of President Muhammadu Buhari to ensure that the roads impact positively on their lives, livelihood, and the national economy.
Ode Aleño, NTA News.
Now, work on the Kaduna Eastern Bypass reconstruction is to progress steadily as the Minister of State Works and Housing, Abubakar Aliyu, gave assurance of government's commitment to addressing bottlenecks slowing the pace of work. The Minister of State stated this while inspecting the road project in Kaduna. Adamu Sunday reports.
The 38-kilometer Kaduna Eastern Bypass project was awarded in 2002. With the terms clearly spelled out, including contract sum, scope of work and date of completion, but later abandoned. The Buhari administration later reviewed and augmented the project in 2017, with this year as completion period. Minister of State for Works Abubakar Aliyu says the contractor does not have any reason not to perform, as funding of the project is derived from Sukuk pool.
The level of progress is not as we expect, because this project is on Sukuk funding. So issue of funding is not a problem, because once they are able to raise their certificate, they are being paid.
So we are trying our best to see that if we can finish this job before the completion of this period.
The Kaduna Eastern Bypass project, upon completion, is expected to boost economic activities and ease traffic congestion within the city. In Kaduna, Adamu Sunday, NTA News.
Now, the Emir of Yauri, Dr. Muhammadu Zayyanu Abdullahi, has described the Presidential Artisanal Gold Mining Initiative as a conscious move by the federal government to change the narrative of artisanal gold mining in Nigeria. The Emir disclosed this while on a visit to one of the pilot sites of the project at Maraba Birnin Yauri in Gasiki local government area of Kebbi State. Dr. Muhammad Zayyanu Abdullahi commended President Muhammadu Buhari for the initiative, which he said has the capacity to maximize Nigeria's gain in the solid mineral sector. While at the site, he was taking round facilities by the managing director, Saad Abubakar, which include an underground, the alluvial processing plant, 1 million litre capacity earth dam and other machineries. He expressed satisfaction with the quality of work done and thanked federal government for choosing Yauri Emirate to pilot the project. Now, the National Power Trading Institute of Nigeria, NAPTIN, is hoping that a partnership with the Nigeria Television Authority, NTA, will significantly boost the popularity and success rate of its skill capacity building initiatives. Director General of NAPTIN, Ahmed Bolaji Nagode, met with the Director General of NTA, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, to liaise on the planned partnership and how best to build the stronger ties. Joshua Ojito reports.
Though established in 2009 to provide training of personnel in the power sector, as well as train youths in various vocations for self-reliance, many Nigerians are yet to explore opportunities in the National Power Training Institute of Nigeria, NAPTIN. Now, the institute is leveraging on NTA's wider reach to create awareness on its programs aimed at ensuring that only qualified professionals man the power sector, as it seeks support of state governments and key players in the power sector for sponsorship of youths to be trained in various vocations.
There's a need for us to leverage on our strength in order to address our threats. There's no doubt to the fact that skills acquisition should be the focus now.
Director General of NTA, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, says as Africa's largest television network, it will continue to support initiatives to create job opportunities for youths.
I can assure you now that this is what Nigeria needs at this point in time. Skill acquisition is critical because it leads to self-dependence, financial independence, and so on and so forth. And you end up being an employer of labor.
So far, NTA says it has trained internally displaced persons in the Northeast in various television productions through its television college in Jos. And the partnership with NAPTIN is expected to empower more youths and build capacity across the electricity value chain. In Abuja, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
It is a new start for 56 Nigerian youths and women as they graduate from a skills and vocational training program jointly conducted by the National Directorate of Employment and the United Nations Development Program. Emmanuel Anyimiro reports that the beneficiaries drawn from Kogi and Plateau states got full chain of starter packs and in their areas of endeavors.
Many others have been waiting for such an opportunity for a long time now. After obtaining his first degree without a white-collar job, at last himself and others are now graduates in catering, photography and GSM repairs. The idea is for them to set up micro-enterprises of their own within their localities, thereby becoming self-independent.
6 months has been very impacting. I learned photography and videography, and we have people that learn catering, and then the other one that learn GSM repair. But the training has been worthwhile.
I've learned different things, doing donut, pop-off, there is pastry, and also cooking. So I wish to go and exhibit this and be able to make use of it.
The partner, UNDP and NDE, urged the unemployed to take advantage of the window of opportunities available at the National Directorate of Employment in order to exit joblessness.
Expect them to go all out and establish their businesses. And we believe that by so doing, we have created the opportunity for them to get employed.
The 6 months collaborative effort by the NDE and UNDP is among various other empowerment initiatives to bail out the unemployed out of poverty. Emmanuel Anyimiro, NTA News.
The National Bureau of Statistics embarks on a business sample survey. These and more on our business desk. Stay with us. With COVID-19 affecting all sectors of the economy, stakeholders say it is more necessary now to ensure that policymakers get adequate, reliable and accurate data to take policy decisions that will affect the economy. It is in view of this that the federal government, through the National Bureau of Statistics, at its ongoing National Business Sample Survey, is canvassing cooperation of small and medium-scale businesses for the survey. Statistician General of the Federation, Yemi Kale, says a survey like this is extremely invaluable to designing and planning for the post-COVID-19 long-term growth and development of the private sector in Nigeria.
There is no problem that Nigeria faces that can be adequately solved without looking at the data, because the data tells you exactly what the problem is and also provides solutions, gives suggestions how that problem can be solved. This exercise will also serve as a significant input to the next GDP rebasing, which will move the current 2010 base year to a new base year of 2019. However, I want to state that the GDP rebasing isn't planned till later in 2021.
This survey is second part of the National Business Sample Census 2020-2021, which started in October last year when 1.4 million business establishments nationwide were listed. 20,000 establishments have been selected across 17 broad economic sectors for sampling. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning has inaugurated a 3-day national consultative forum on the review of social protection policy, starting with states in the North Central Zone and other relevant stakeholders. The consultation is aimed at harvesting state-level input on social protection issues, gaps and challenges to ensure a robust and all-inclusive social protection policy. Declaring the workshop open, the Permanent Secretary, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Olushola Idowu, urged participants to ensure domestication of the policy in their various states in order to ensure effective implementation and sustainability. In a statement signed by the Director of Information, Budget and National Planning, Victoria Agbata, the consultation, which captures issues relating to proper social register and Nigeria's vulnerability and poverty profile, has been concluded in the Southeast, South-South, Southwest and North Central and will be done in other geopolitical zones of the country. And now to the capital market. Here is a graphic representation of trading figures in the floor of the exchange. With business news, I'm Chimobi Walter Naji. All right, you're still watching the news at 10. We'll take another break now. The news will continue shortly.
The counsel of our fathers.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
When you hear that sound, you know that Nigeria's most authentic newscast is about to begin. NTA Network News.
A national communion.
This is the network service of the NTA.
government is ready and committed to evacuate